Hello Scorpio, welcome to Eco Tarot. This is Kensley, the Eco Tarotist, and I'm so excited to be doing your reading for today. I've decided to do a chakra check-in. So I'm going to be going through each of the chakras and pulling it all together for a story at the end. Let's get right to it. If you have any questions about this reading, please check the description box below. The wolf spirit is what you got, and right off the bat, turn knowledge into wisdom. And I really only asked for one card, but you got three, so we're gonna still go with it. Turn knowledge into wisdom. The wolf spirit is one of my favorites of all. It was actually my spirit guide through a really weird scenario that happened. I'll tell you about it sometime, but apparently went into a different realm with the guidance of a fellow tarot card reader, and I was like, sure, I'll do it. I'll talk to my higher self. I don't care. That sounds great. Had no idea what was happening, but at least this guy was with me. So I feel very kindred spirits to the wolf, and in fact, I'm a Scorpio moon, so I'm like, this reading's for me too, guys. Okay, next is the hummingbird spirit. Be here now. And I know that it's a high vibrational creature, but it's the coolest animal because it's not only, it has to eat nectar, I think, or drink nectar, like I think within an hour, every hour or something like that, unless it goes into torpor, which is shutting down the system. And so it has got such a high metabolism that it needs it cannot sustain life much without energy, to replace it, to eat nectar or whatever. And what I've realized is that, so I live in Texas, I've mentioned it before, and I used to study wind farms and where to put them along the Texas coastline, and it is absolutely fascinating how I did my research and realized just how many birds fly across the Gulf of Mexico and land and just are exhausted and land on that Galveston, East Texas, Western Louisiana area, wetland area. And the hummingbird is one of them, and except the energy it takes to sustain a 26 hour flight is incredible. And the fact that this little tiny high metabolism bird does it is, I'm just shocked that they're still living. So I feel like it's a very strong creature in that regard, where it's an enduring kind of creature. And I like to think of it as the Nine of Wands kind of creature, where it's like you're almost there, the battle is almost done, that migratory flight is almost done, and you're seeing the islands coming up. So love that creature. You get the dolphin spirit. This and that are true, and I think it's talking about things are not always what they seem. There's not always, there's good and bad to every situation, and a relationship is never all good or all bad. There's always nuances associated, and the dolphin is a very highly intelligent creature and very social creature, and yeah, we'll just see how all of this plays out. Clean It Up is another card that you got from the Wisdom and Oracle deck, and this is really talking about cleaning house. I mean, I love this elk with the dust buster, what have you, but it's talking about throw out that which does not serve you. It's the total what is it, the chick that asks you to, does this bring me joy, and if not, you chunk it. Oh God, I can't remember what her name is, but I'm sure you will remember it for me. But I think you know what I'm talking about. It's literally what brings you joy, keep it around. If that shirt that your mom gave you that you really didn't want, but you're keeping just to make her feel better, maybe you should toss it. Give it to somebody who might actually use it. Or in relationships, is this relationship really serving you? What relationships in your life are serving you versus what they're not? And maybe you should let some things go, or make more of an effort if you really do find out that they bring you joy. You know, relationships take work. They take effort. So let's start off with the root chakra. And to be in balance in the root chakra, it means stability, groundedness, prosperity, healthy and physically healthy. There's trust. When you're deficient in the root chakra, there's fearfulness, underweight, spacey, and then on the other end of it all, if there's too much root chakra, there's obesity, greed, materialism, hoarding, that kind of thing. And so you got the Justice card with my Lenormand deck amateur hour drawn cards. I didn't have a Lenormand deck, and so I decided to draw some last week, and it was kind of like an art project for me. So I really loved it, and you know, but it just comes out as a cartoon fox, so get what you get, I guess. Anyways, so Justice and the Fox, and the Lenormand deck. I love the Lenormand. I've just recently discovered this kind of deck, and it's a very cut and dry, straightforward timing. It gives straight up meanings. It's not a lot of room for interpretation. Like, there's no point in drawing something else on this card to interpret if Fox is a Fox card. That's it. And it's either selfishness, trickery, suspicion, caution, cunning. Could be self-care, and that's why there might be some selfishness, but overall it's on the negative side of things. And so in terms of the root chakra, you know, I do feel like trickery, suspicion, caution, cunning is on the side of excess root chakra. And I think that there needs to be a balance. I don't think that it is in balance. I think there needs to be a balance in that. And maybe there's a little too much selfishness. You know, selfishness on one side, like I said, self-care is great. And it might come across as selfishness to others, but it's truly, if you need to say no, then say no to somebody. But when it's at the detriment of other people and it starts to hurt people, then it's not a good thing. And I think that that's where this is going, is that there's that trickery or suspicion or caution or you know, materialism or greed or all the things that are not necessarily healthy. And this is calling for balance. This is calling, and then in the background is the Egyptian goddess that is, I believe she's the one that measures your soul against the weight of a feather in order to let you into the afterworld. And if it's not light like that feather, then you go into, I don't know, the dungeons of hell. I don't know, something like that. But so it sounds like you really need to balance that out and work on the root chakra. But you know, I do see some other really great cards in here. So just because one chakra is kind of blown out, it doesn't mean that the rest of them aren't. And that you can't try to put balance back into that chakra and then actually work on it. So these are very helpful. Like, sorry, no one's perfect. Everyone's going to have something that's out of balance. And it's just a matter of understanding what that means for you and trying to fix it. That is the point of life, is growth and trying to make yourself better. For the sacral chakra, this is intimacy. This is healthy sexually. This is pleasure. This is feeling. This is fluidity. This is creativity. It's where a lot of your creativity comes from. But it's, to me, this really means, are you healthy with that intimacy? Because I think if you're deficient in this, there's rigidity, emotional numbness, stagnation, and in excess, that's overly emotional, sexual addiction, obsessive attachments, flooding, that kind of thing. So with that, you get the Page of Pentacles, and from Page of Pentacles from the forward, and the Bouquet from the Lenormand. And the Lenormand talks about, the Bouquet and the Lenormand talks about pleasantness, flattery, etiquette. It's a very positive card. It's very springtime focused, and the Page of Pentacles is a very curious, youthful approach to life, and I think this kind of means that there's a youthful aspect to your sacral chakra energy. Whether that's still healthy, I think so. I think it is still healthy. I think it might be youthful and maybe not immature, but just naive, innocent. Not just a student of learning, willing to learn, but not a full-on expert at that creativity and that sexual confidence and that intimacy. I think it takes a lot of years for people to become comfortable in that kind of environment with another person. It doesn't always come easy for people. So I think it's positive. I think it is youthful in that energy. And so let's move on to the solar plexus. And to be in balance in the solar plexus, that talks about confidence, our self-esteem, courageousness, vitality, strength of will, purpose, self-esteem, visionary. When you are deficient in the solar plexus chakra, there's poor self-esteem and there's more passive behavior. If you're in excess, there's domination, controlling, aggressiveness, and kind of more scattered. So let's look at this. For the solar plexus, you got the Queen of Pentacles and the Animus, or man, in the Lenormand deck. And I truly love in the Lenormand, it's not like, oh, this is masculine energy, and it could be anything. If you have masculine energy in you and all of this, and that's legit for tarot, not for Lenormand. Lenormand is literally like, if you're a man, this is you. What we're about to talk about is you. If you are not a man, then the person in your life that you're thinking about, or the next in line who's a man, the closest person to you that's a man, is about him. Or the person you're thinking about is, if it's a man, is about him. Or there's some man in your life. So, and that's interesting that it's paired with this Queen of Pentacles, that is a very nurturing, grounded, mature energy of taking care of other people, and pretty much closest to the Empress energy of the minor arcana that you can get. And so this is, in terms of self-esteem, I really think of solar plexus as self-esteem. And kind of trusting your gut. That's your gut. That's your intestines and stomach area. And it's really about trusting your gut. And it feels like, it feels like trusting your gut. It feels like you've got this confident self-esteem. And if you're a man, then this is a man who has a very confident self-esteem in nurturing their family. If you're a woman, then this is about a man in your life who has this confidence, self-esteem, very nurturing energy, very grounded energy. And I think that is, I think that's as positive as, I mean, man is kind of neutral. It just depends on the card, but I think the Queen of Pentacles is a very positive card. So to me, I feel like you're in balance in your solar plexus chakra. In your heart chakra, to be in balance means to have that compassion, that balance of self-acceptance, good relationships. It's if you're deficient, you're shy, lonely, isolated, bitter. On the other hand, if you're in excess of this chakra, there's codependency, jealousy, possessiveness, poor boundaries in a relationship. So this is more kind of like your relationship to yourself, the relationship to your significant other or other people in your life. And so this is supported by the Five of Wands from behind and the Whip in the Lenormand. And the Whip, I know that it doesn't matter what I put on this card. It's a whip is a whip is a whip, but I tend to still love animals, and I couldn't help myself, so I made it into a whip tail, coach whip. Sorry, whip tail. It's a coach whip snake, where their tail looks like a seriously long leathered whip. It's really cool. And whip is conflict, debate, opposition, and arguments. And then it's connected, that's supporting the conflict, debate, arguments card. So it is pretty apparent that this is full on, there's conflict in your heart chakra. Whether that's, and that's, I think it's more on the excess, actually. I feel like codependency, jealousy, possessiveness, poor boundaries, or, I mean, you could be shy, lonely, isolated, or bitter, but, you know, to have conflicts, you have to have another person. Debating, you have to have another person or people. Opposition, arguments. So I feel like this is about one or multiple people in your life that you're in conflict with in your heart chakra. And let's go back to, I think because of that, you need to you need to clean out what doesn't serve you anymore. There's a lot of conflict in here, whether that's within your own heart, or whether that's with other people, the person that you love, your family members, your friends, co-workers, whatever this is, it's not, it's no longer serving you, this conflict in your heart. And a coach whip is a snake that, well, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward animal, but it's certainly, it's meant to be free, that's for sure. And so maybe that's also saying perhaps you need to let go of this conflict. And or maybe, I mean, let's look at the hummingbird, where, yeah, be here and now, but it's also, you know, that energy of, it's almost done. You've almost found, you've gone through your migration across the Gulf of Mexico, and you're almost done. So maybe this conflict is worth keeping. I mean, the people around you associated with this conflict is worth keeping if it's something that is almost done. But sounds like to me that it needs to be cleared out of your life, because that is not healthy for you, and it's blowing out your heart chakra. Your throat chakra is in balance when there's clear communication, there's creativity, there's resonance. When it's deficient, there's a fear of speaking, poor rhythm. When there's an excess, there's an inability to listen, there's excessive talking, sometimes stuttering. It's just too much throat chakra. And to support that, you've got the Seven of Cups from behind, and the bear in the Lenormand. And the Lenormand talks about, the bear in the Lenormand talks about power, leadership, strength of character, boss, dominance. It's really that mama bear, protectiveness, kind of energy. And this is the throat. This is communication. And so we see here that in the Seven of Cups, this is typically a card of, it could be a lot of options. It could be dreams about certain things. It could be many, many things. In this card depiction, though, so this is the card from the forward in the Vice Versa Tarot, and it talks about this man is totally overwhelmed with what is happening in front of him. He's like, what the hell is this angel head doing here with like 7 cups? I don't understand. I'm like, is this for me? What am I supposed to do? And it talks about like, don't do anything right now, okay? Because it feels all like you're in the swamp, and it's all just, there's brambles and reeds that are preventing you from going everywhere, and it's just, well. But you didn't get that card. You got the backside, where you realize, oh, it's the drainage ditch outside the castle. But this guy is blind. Oh, this guy is blind. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, honestly, blind people, I have to say, are probably way better communicators than anybody else, because they have to do that much more in their vocal communication to live and to move around in the world. They have to rely more on their other senses to be able to survive in this world. And so it's kind of funny. It's like, not funny, haha. It's funny, interesting that what you thought was this guy who's overwhelmed is actually blind. And so what is this guy's intuition telling him about these cups, about these options? And it's saying to me, you pull in the bear of strength of character, there's a dominance, there's a protection, there's that mama bear that wants to protect you because you've been hurt. Even though you might have all of these options, you need to rely on your intuition to choose which option that you have, because you've been hurt. There's been a lot of struggle in the realm of your relationships and your heart chakra, and then there's been some deceit in your life that needs to be balanced out, whether you're deceitful or that's coming towards you, and there's deceits that you need to balance out your life. And maybe I think that's it. And I love that this and that are true. It's not always what you seem. Everything is not always what you see, what it seems. That what you thought was awesome is actually probably not very good for you, and that you need to clear it out of your life. And I haven't really mentioned the wolf spirit too much, but this turning knowledge into wisdom, it's this whole process of understanding who you are and what you want out of life, and who these people are, and that have either affected you in a negative way, and how you're going to go about either cleaning house with them or standing up to them and having a different dynamic with that relationship. But it's turning that knowledge and that experience into wisdom that you can actually maybe give back to others. So let's go on to the third eye. And the third eye chakra, when in balance, is seeing the future, clear seeing, psychic perception, accurate interpretation, imagination, intellect and intuition, deepest wisdom. When it's deficient, there's poor memory, poor vision, unimaginative, and denial. When it's in excess, there's headaches, nightmares, delusions, difficulty concentrating. And of course, this is just a quick overview. There's so much more that could go be a part of that. And so you get the Three of Wands from the backside and the Star. And I love this energy. The Star in the Lenormand, like I said, it's a very straightforward, and it's hope, optimism, spirituality, dreams, progress to goals. And I like that about your third eye. I think there's hope yet for this, for what's gone down in your life. I think this card is normally looking at the man's back, waiting for what he has manifested and planned to come through to fruition. I call it I like the Three of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles as kind of like the manifestation type magician cards of the minor arcana. But you've got the back end, and he's holding up, he's this confident man, or just male and masculine energy, and there's balance. There's balance in water and fire, yin and yang. And so this is that, in that level of third eye, is that intuition that there's hope, that there is going to be a balance in your life, and knowing what's going to come in for you that's going to be good. I think that is a very, very good message, because there's balance here when there wasn't balance here. Something got balanced, and then there's hope for that balance. And maybe that's all that is this intuition in yourself that is has an inner knowing, an inner sight that it's all going to be okay in the end. And then you get your crown chakra, and when in balance, it's self-realization, contentment, oneness, wholeness, wisdom, knowledge, spiritual connection, and consciousness. When deficient, there's limited beliefs, apathy. When in excess, there's you're overly intellectual, confusion, spiritual addiction, disassociation. And then you get the Four of Swords and the Mice from the Lenormand. And the Mice from the Lenormand is about stress, anxiety, decay, thievery, destruction, flaws, disease. I mean, think about mice if they're infiltrating your house. What do? They kind of destroy. And then there's this Four of Swords here that's all about retreat, rest, and recuperation. And so I think there's also a lot of contemplation. These are swords, so it's a lot of intellectualization. So maybe this is kind of an excess of the crown chakra, where you've got this overanalyzing and in your retreat of what's gone down, and it's giving you anxiety and stress, the decay or breakdown of maybe what once was. I do think this is an overall positive card, the Four of Swords, because it is about reflection. It's about rest. It's about stepping out of the fight and retreating and understanding that you need a break from, and maybe I think these are the people around you that give you stress and anxiety, and you're like, fuck it, I need some space. Actually, I really do think that. I think these are the people around you. They're like mice. They're just nitpicking it and then just like pooping in your way, and you have to step on it and eating all your shit, getting in and everything, in your garage, just tearing up your mattress that you put out there for safekeeping. Little bastards. So these are the people around you. These are the people around you who deceived you, who are struggling with you. There's conflict, and you need to take a break in order to get that crown chakra more in alignment. And I do think that, and that's part of cleaning it up, taking a break, saying no. Do it temporarily, do it permanently, whatever it is. This hard time is almost, the migration is almost over, and you're about to land onto the island that is going to allow for rest and recuperation, and so that you can move on your journey. And I think you need to understand that what you thought was true, maybe not. Clearly what's coming down is who you thought was important in your life may not actually be good for you. And then, you know, use that knowledge and turn it into wisdom, and make better decisions for yourself in the future. I don't know. I hope that helped, Scorpio. I know it did me. All right. Love you guys. Hope you have a great week. Bye.